Which fictional character's death have you not gotten over? Jorge from Halo Reach. He sacrificed himself by blowing up the Covenant supercarrier, thinking his actions saved Reach. Then moments later the whole Covenant armada appears out of slip space to eventually burn the planet he loved too much to glass. Data. I was handling it okay, then his brother started singing a halting and broken version of Blue Skies and I was just crushed. Edit. It came out 20 years ago. Is it still a spoiler? Even more crushing. The first scene from Picard where Picard is dreaming about playing, I forget what game, something with Data, and Data asks him why he's not playing to win, and Picard says I don't want the game to end. I was fucking sad for a day or two after that. Mordin Solus. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. I made a mistake. First time in the series he used the word I. His work on the genophage fucked him up so much he had to detach himself from his work completely. Spike Spiegel. See you, Space Cowboy. Here be massive Cowboy Bebop spoilers. Don't read this if you ever wanna watch the show, and you should, it's great. Came here looking for this one. To this day I still can't help but get choked up when it finishes panning up into the sky from him bleeding out on the stairs, and in the last frames of the show, you see his star briefly shine brighter than all the others, then fade away into nothing. You're gonna carry that weight, combined with Maya Main belting her heart out singing Yoko Kanno's Blue and ending softly on the lyrics everything is clearer now, life is just a dream you know, that's never ending. I'm ascending. It may very well be the most powerful scene of any show I've seen, anime or otherwise. Here's the full clip, but again it's major spoilers and honestly doesn't hit the same if you haven't seen Spike's journey up until here and understood the tragic senselessness of his death. Edit. Maya Main was the singer, Yoko Kanno is the composer. Also obligatory, this is a must-watch show, even if you don't typically care for anime. It doesn't really have the tropes and silliness that put people off of some animes, it's generally a serious action drama that just happens to be animated. I'd put it more in the vein of something like A Scanner Darkly, not in style specifically but in seriousness of tone despite being animated. Guess I'm getting too old. Littlefoot's Momyo. Probably the saddest kids movie death ever. It was way too much. I felt like I lost my own mom that day. Always wanted to eat a tree star. The way Spike eats the big circle of weeds. I wanted to eat grass like that as a kid. Yep. The guy hatches, eats everything in sight, then takes a nap. Spike is my spirit animal. Arthur Morgan's death really took a toll on me. You spend half of the game knowing what's to come, dreading it, simultaneously watching this badass killer trying to right his wrongs and save his family, only to be betrayed by half of them in the end. Rockstar broke my heart. Stoic. They did handle his death very well, with the entire funeral scene immediately after the battle, and Hiccup's first reaction felt so human, so real. The actors and animators did a fantastic job with the movie and the whole franchise. Yeah. I'm happy they just put an end to it, it was complete. If they were to drag the series on it would just be a disaster. Yeah. And the best is that if you want more you can watch Race to the Edge, which is pretty good. My father has watched it like 4 times. Charlotte the Spider. How she sang to Wilbur, who was terrified of dying, even while she was dying. I thought no one was going to mention this. It's been almost 30 years, this is the first novel that made me cry. The movie didn't help either, it hit me harder than the deaths of Mufasa or Littlefoot's mom. Please come down, Charlotte. There must be something I can do. No, Wilbur. Don't you know what you've already done? You made me your friend. And in doing so you made a spider beautiful to everyone in that barn. I didn't do anything, Charlotte. You did it all. No. My webs were no miracle, Wilbur. I was only describing what I saw. The miracle is you. Her voice was so soft. Anyone seen Grave of the Fireflies? Yes, that movie was fucking heartbreaking. And made even worse when you know it was based on a true story, written out of guilt by the Big Brother. That movie is one of those movies where afterwards I was like, good movie. Well made. Effective. I am never ever watching that again. Bob from Stranger Things. Yes. I was waiting for him to be an undercover spy or a dick in some way, but he was a nice bloke. This death broke my heart. Joyce just can't get a break. Hank Schrader. You're the smartest guy I've met and you're too stupid to see he made up his mind 10 minutes ago. That line always gives me shivers, goosebumps just reading it. Edit, words. I remember hating Hank in episode 1. Then we all slowly grew to love him for his honor and tenacity. At the moment. Bobby Singer. Crowley. The show has never been the same. I think this was a horrible decision. Crowley was my favorite. Opie, Sons of Anarchy. I got this. Opie's death was definitely the hardest to deal with. Best character ever. We named our cat after him. Fives, Clone Wars. Him and Hard Case 2. Honestly, just every clone that died throughout the series hits hard. True Life. Always felt bad to watch how some of those poor clones died, even if they were unnamed. Electrocution, getting chopped in half, losing their helmets in space, friendly fire, etc. Oberyn Martell. Oh god, his death was one of the worst in the entire series. I don't think there was any point during the series at which I was so angry. One of the few things I enjoyed in the travesty of a finale was when he tried to kill his brother the same way, and failed. I mean, the Hound still died, but I count it as his win. One of the few subplots that finished nicely in my opinion. Clegane Ebel was honestly really strong in the beginning, and then just became stale up until the actual fight. The actual fight was BS too. It cut the scene up into like 5 pieces, and kept cutting to different POVs between. If you wanna give me a good fight, then give me the whole damn fight. Shireen Baratheon. There were brutal deaths and then there was Shireen. If he commands you to burn children, your lord is evil. I love that girl like she was my own. Davos shows some great restraint, he's legit holding back. The heartbreak and anger is evident in his voice. I had goosebumps. She was good, she was kind, and you killed her. Liam Cunningham is a treasure. Brooks from the Shawshank Redemption. Brooks was here. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss. Not for an old crook like me. The worst thing was how real it was. Knowing that this happens to people a lot. The sniper from Saving Private Ryan. He was a guy that was doing his absolute best and gave it his all. When the tower was bombed that he was in, my heart sunk. But that's war. Edit. Thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing all of your stories too. I've been sitting in bed reading them all morning. The first time I watched Saving Private Ryan, it was in my sophomore year in history class and I cried. All of the deaths in that movie were heartbreaking. Sirius Black. He lived in an abusive household for almost 17 years, then fought dark wizards for a few years, then put in Azkaban, without a trial, and accusing him of associating with his abusive family he ran away from and killing the family he ran towards, and tormented with Dementors for 12 years, 1 year of reliving his worst memories and then bam. Dies. He deserved a good life. Lu Ten, Uncle Iroh's son. Avatar: The Last Airbender. While we didn't see his death firsthand, I felt like I was mourning a son of my own when Iron sang that song. Still tears me up. Apparently Mako had his diagnosis by the time he recorded that episode. It feels so raw and real because the emotion fueling it really is. Well, that is wonderful trivia that makes things even more sad. The best thing they did with Korra was name a character after him. Arthur Morgan and Lenny. Fuck, I miss Lenny. Honestly, Hosea's death was the most heartbreaking for me. It all went downhill from when he died. My horse, Gary. When Arthur whispers thank you. Mufasa. This is a childhood trauma for so many kids. As a child you think your parents are indestructible. They're immortal, they can't die and will always protect you. And then you have this little lion, baby who runs up to the corpse of his father and just doesn't even understand at first. And then you realize that the big, strong lion dad is dead. On a similar note, Littlefoot's mom from The Land Before Time. The scene where he mistakes his shadows for hers still makes me tear up just thinking about it.